seventh studio album, B7, is out. After an 8-year hiatus, you are back. My next question I want to preface with: no demographic is monolithic. I say this all the time. But what does declining support among black voters mean for Democrats as we go into the midterm elections right around the corner?
So you are an icon. You've spent 40 years in fashion. You are on the cover of New You magazine. Congratulations on that.
Oh, well, thanks. That was a real fun day. Yeah, it was great.
What have you learned in the last 40 years? And what do you think when someone says that to you?
Your state, the state I live in and lived in for many years, has dealt with the aftermath of a school shooting at Sandy Hook in 2012. I covered it. You were the congressman. You recently spoke on the Senate floor about the Oxford High School shooting in Michigan. Your remarks have gone viral. They've been viewed more than 1 million times. Clearly, your remarks resonate with people. Sir, what will it take to move the needle here, to see any movement on school shooting reform from Congress? You are watching live as the U.S. Coast Guard gives us an update on the missing submersible named the Titan with 5 crew members inside. Officials say this is a very complex search effort with multiple teams from around the world, including Canada and France, who are assisting. They also said that cutting-edge technology is needed. Rescue efforts are being conducted by sea and air, and according to the Coast Guard, by our nation's best experts.
We are on the flight deck of the USS Wasp. This is essentially a floating city. Up to 3,000 soldiers and Marines can stay on this vessel at one time. It is the first in its class as an amphibious assault ship.
Governor, you have vowed to act swiftly on this. When will New Jersey be ready to pass a law? The reason I'm asking is because many states have tried and are now getting sued. All eyes are on New York City. We are at Trump Tower, of course, the home base of our 45th president for decades. Never before has a former president faced criminal charges. Never before has the Big Apple braced for these kind of protests. We have a lot to get to. Here is what we know. The mayor of Washington, D.C. has issued a curfew for 6 p.m. as supporters of President Trump flood the nation's capital. President-elect Joe Biden also demanding an end to this siege. Now, even after the chaos that ensued, there he is, Barnett told media outlets when he made it back outside, "I'm not afraid to go down with someone else's blood." And as far as sitting at the House Speaker's desk, he said, quote, "Sat down here in my desk. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a patriot. That ain't her desk. We loaned her that desk." As President Biden speaks on today's monumental SCOTUS decision, I'm Hena Doba alongside Asia Celestino and Ariel Hickson. We know President Biden can't do anything through executive order, but he did lay out a few points that he is pushing his administration to do. They will enforce protection for medication-induced abortion. They will also increase access to these medications. Women will have the right to travel to other states for abortion care, and the Department of Justice will protect them if they do so. Also, the Justice Department will also protect providers to advise women on these abortions. Ladies, I am curious. Ariel, I'll start with you. What are your takeaway from the president's remarks?
Why is it so important for Bose to change that?
It's a shocking statistic,
It
right?
is. It really is.
And for a company like us, we're individuals and a company in total that loves music.
That actually leads me to my next question. What is the responsibility of local officials in quelling this violence that we are seeing towards the AAPI community? Crypto space is also top of mind for investors this afternoon after the SEC threatened to sue Coinbase. We've been telling you about this on this network. Unfortunately, stocks are falling into the red this afternoon in another volatile session to close out the week. Speaking of emotions and just living life, do you think there's pressure these days to maybe overspend?
Of course, we had Keeping Up with the Joneses at my Gen X grade.
The Dow now surging by more than 150 points this morning. Certainly a different story yesterday. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq also pointing to a higher open. Investors are waiting on minutes from the Federal Reserve's September meeting. This after Fed Chairman Jerome Powell warned Tuesday that the future of the U.S. economy remains, quote, highly uncertain.
It's time to wake up with chatter. Live from New York City, I'm Baker Buchanan.
I'm Hena Doba. Today's Thursday, June 22nd. Thank you so much for joining us today. A dreary start to the day, at least here in the Northeast. Let's head overseas in Paris, where police say a suspected gas leak may have caused a major explosion in the city's left bank. At least 37 people were injured in this explosion. It happened around 5 p.m. local time in a building that houses the Paris American Academy. 4 people were listed in critical condition. The district mayor said firefighters were searching for 2 people believed to be inside the building at the time. Part of the building collapsed after the blast. Back in the States, a California man involved in the Capitol riot was sentenced yesterday to over 12 years in prison for driving a stun gun into a police officer's neck during all that chaos. Daniel DJ Rodriguez pled guilty back in February to 4 felony charges, including conspiracy and assaulting a law enforcement officer with a dangerous weapon. Video from the officer, Michael Fanoni's body camera, shows the moment Rodriguez shocked him with a stun gun while another rioter dragged him into the crowd and others started beating him. So far, more than 1,000 people have been charged in connection with the January 6th Capitol attack. 600 have pleaded guilty. Bad news for ice cream fans. A popular frozen treat has been discontinued. Good Humor confirmed its toasted almond ice cream bar, which has been around since the 1960s, is no more. The company says the ice cream's elimination was, quote, necessary but unfortunate decision. The company stopped making the product last year, but many customers did not realize it until this summer and took to social media to express their surprise. One woman tweeted, "I found out last night and I'm in mourning. Good Humor, you've made the biggest mistake in history." There's even a change.org petition for the company to bring back the flavor. Are you a Good Humor person?
I don't know when the last time, maybe it was
I
like,
don't
you know,
either.
a fair or something I might have
Yeah.
had, but I love anything with almond, so I would have loved this. But you also have to think, if this is got a change.org petition attached to this, maybe it'll come back as like a special promotional thing down the road, because they love this when people sort of get obsessed with one of their products when it's been discontinued.
It's great PR for the company. We've seen
Absolutely.
changes done before. I do think it's smart for Good Humor to take it out last year during the winter, kind of quietly, so fans won't notice.
Yes, but we have to make almond good, guys. Make it good again.
Be sure to stick with us here at Cheddar News for our headlines you need to know.